So hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you and welcome back once again to the channel. So there is a very prominent question among all the aspirants who are preparing for RBI and NABARD that how to read the newspaper. So today in this video, I'm going to discuss with you, I'm going to tell you that what all you have to read while going through a newspaper. आपको क्या क्या पढ़ना चाहिए और कैसे पढ़ना चाहिए, notes बनाने चाहिए या नहीं बनाने चाहिए. Everything I'm going to discuss today, right? So before we begin with the Mint live Mint newspaper of today, I'm going to tell you some do's and don'ts while reading the newspaper. Number one, you have to read the newspaper to understand a particular news and not for the data. You just don't have to look for data all the time because data are being provided by us through the Spotlight magazine, the PIB 247 and the RBI 247 as well. All right. So data वाला काम वहां से हो रहा है. न्यूज़पेपर आपको केवल कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी और अपनी पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट के लिए पढ़ना है. Yes, when I am saying personality development, I am absolutely right because newspaper indeed develops your personality. All right. Number two, what you don't have to do is आपको हर एक चीज को न्यूज़पेपर में अंडरलाइन नहीं करना है because if you are going to underline everything, then how you will be able to identify that what all important news are there, right? Number two. Number three, आपको रीडिंग में बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगाना है. You don't have to overread the newspaper. You just have to identify the relevant news as per the syllabus of your examination, the news which are aligned to the syllabus of your examination, and you have to read only those news. फालतू की न्यूज आपको नहीं पढ़नी है. All right. So let's begin with the Mint newspaper, and I'm going to tell you that आपको नोट्स अगर बनाने हैं तो किस चीज के बनाने हैं. ठीक है जी. So let's start करते हैं न्यूज़पेपर को पढ़ना and let me just switch off my video so that you can see the entire newspaper properly, right? So this is today's newspaper when I'm recording this video, 29th of January 2024, right? So the very first news is FPI raise bearish bets to keenly eye budget Fed meet. Now this particular news contains too much technical news, but before getting into the detailed news, you have to read the headline, right? अगर headline में आपके कुछ काम का है, then you should read it, otherwise you can completely ignore it. For example, in this particular news, I hope you can see it. FPI's raise bearish bets to keenly eye budget Fed meet. मतलब अब यहाँ पे आपको इसकी डिटेल में अगर आप जाओगे, देखोगे, क्विकली रीड करोगे, तो you'll understand that there is nothing relevant for us. However, you need to make short notes that what is the meaning of FPI, right? शॉर्ट नोट्स आपको बनाने हैं या नहीं भी बनाने हैं, तो आपको ऑलरेडी आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए दैट व्हाट इज एफपीआई एंड व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एफपीआई एंड एफडीआई, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ. नंबर टू, आगे बढ़ते हैं. दिस न्यूज इज गाइज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एग्री नीड्स इन्वेस्टमेंट मच बियॉन्ड इनकम्स. इस पूरे के पूरे आर्टिकल में जो राइटर है उसने बताया है दैट जो एग्रीकल्चर है उसको कितना और इन्वेस्टमेंट की जरूरत है बिकॉज द बजट इज कमिंग, राइट? After 2-3 days the interim budget will be out, so there are speculations about all the sectors that what all the sectors currently need, right? So यहाँ पे हमें बताया गया है कि कैसे एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में हमें और ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट की जरूरत है. इसमें आप आगे जाओगे तो there are certain graphs. This graph is showing, you can see this graph, I believe this graph is showing that allocations increase in the allocations to agriculture sector, right? Here there is some detail about the scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Yojana, interest subsidies, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Now you don't have to mug up all these data. You need to understand it that okay, the allocations in Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana have been increasing, right? Similarly, if I talk about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, the allocations are almost the same, okay, in the last 3 years. Then it talks about the terms of trade, which means कितना हमें जो एग्रीकल्चर है वो कितना हमें फायदा दे रहा है या उसके जो प्राइसेस हैं वो कितने एप्ट हैं या कितने एप्ट नहीं है. देन इट टॉक्स अबाउट द गेन्स एंड लॉसेस ऑफ द फार्मर्स, राइट? फार्मर्स को अपना सामान बेच के व्हाइल आफ्टर सेलिंग इट्स प्रोड्यूस्ड हाउ मच अ फार्मर इज अर्निंग, ठीक है? इस तरीके के इसमें चीजें हैं. देन इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड सब्सिडीज, राइट? बिकॉज द गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड सब्सिडीज टू द फार्मर्स and it talks about the subsidies. So this entire article is very very important for you. Now while going through this article, you don't have to mug it up. You just have to understand that what is a trend in investment and subsidies in the agriculture sector, what is a trend in gains or losses, and this trend will help you in writing the descriptive answer if there would be any question from the growth of agriculture sector or investment in the agriculture sector? And this is a very valid question that can be asked in your exam. All right, that was number one. अब आते हैं पहले पेज पे. अडानी टैप्स पीईज. दिस इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस बिकॉज इट इज ओनली टॉकिंग अबाउट अ सिंगल कंपनी एंड वी कैन इग्नोर इट. Then health insurers may get a new regulator directly related to the social issues part. So now the government is planning that for health insurance, the government will establish a separate regulator so that the health insurance sector could be regulated well. This is very, very important for you, right? Then digital consumer code. Now, again, इसमें आपको ये पढ़ना है that what is the need of this health regulator and how it will impact the health insurance sector. Okay? If you understand this, then you will be able to write a decent points, certain decent points in your answer. Okay? Then digital consumer codes by March. All the consumer codes will become digital by the end of March. The government is saying this, and it is directly related to the syllabus because digitalization is a very important and integral part of the economy. All right. आगे चलो. Now this valuation described over pies Akash move. This is about Byju's and Akash. So this is not relevant for us. Economy and policy page is very, very important. Economy and policy page, guys, is very, very important. Here what all you have to read. देखो अभी इस वाले न्यूज़पेपर में अगर हम देखें तो water resources may get 10% more allocation in financial year 25. Sorry about that. This article explains that in financial year 2025, since the budget is coming, so this article explains why there is a need of 10% more allocation in the water resources, and specifically it talks about the Ken-Betwa river link project. Now, while going through this article, you will understand that what is Ken-Betwa river linking project, how is it impacting this, the ecosystem, the economy, right? And this article also talks about two very important schemes, that is डैम रिहैबिलिटेशन एंड इंप्रूवमेंट प्रोग्राम एंड अटल भूजल योजना. इसमें यह भी बताया है दैट अटल भूजल योजना विल नाउ बी एक्सपैंडेड टू अदर स्टेट्स एज वेल. लाइक इट इज नॉट देयर इन पंजाब, सो इट विल बी एक्सपैंडेड टू पंजाब. ऑलराइट, एक्सटेंडेड टू पंजाब. सो दो स्कीम्स आपको पता चलती है. नाउ यू हैव टू मेक शॉर्ट नोट्स ऑफ दोस टू स्कीम्स. यू कैन गूगल इट. ठीक है, जल्दी से ड्रिप के बारे में और अटल भूजल योजना के बारे में आपने नोट्स बना लिए, राइट? But of course, you don't have to do it if you are an enrolled student and if you follow my sessions, or even if you are not enrolled student, if you are following my sessions, then PIB sessions and the government schemes, you don't have to do it at all. Then the next article, what's the center's latest tax data reveals. Now this is directly related to both finance and ESI, and यहाँ पे आपको बताया है ऑथर ने that कि जो सेंटर का डेटा है वो किस तरीके से इंक्रीज हो रहा है या डिक्रीज हो रहा है, कौन कौन से सोर्सेज हैं डेटा के, टैक्स के, राइट? कहाँ से कितना परसेंटेज शेयर है डायरेक्ट टैक्स का, कितना परसेंटेज शेयर है इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स का, इस तरीके से. ठीक है, जैसे यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, द ग्रोथ हैज बीन ड्रिवन बाय अ रोबस्ट एक्सपेंशन in personal income tax while the share of corporate tax has dwindled since the tax rate cuts in 2019. So it is saying, so it is a trend, right? It is a trend. You can make use of this trend in your descriptive answer, and that will make it more, reliable answer. Because if you are writing that in India's personal income tax regime has seen a robust expansion, however, there is a dwindle effect in, in the corporate tax because of the tax rate cuts in the year 2019. ठीक है, तो ये टैक्स का पूरा है, तो you need to go through it. Right, India is paving a way towards a renaissance. It is not important for us. It is out of the syllabus. Constitution makers inspired by the rule of Ram. Political बात है, हमें बिल्कुल भी पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now, Health Ministry to expand diagnostic services. This is important. However, there is nothing relevant in this article. You need to just quickly go through it, and you will find that there is nothing relevant except they have mentioned the Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana, which we have discussed a lot of time. You don't have to do it anything here. Now, deals, टेक्स एंड स्टार्टअप्स में आपको बहुत कम चीजें करनी है. इनफैक्ट कुछ भी नहीं करना है. रेड क्लिफ, ये दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट अ सिंगल कंपनी, नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. एप्पल होम डिवाइसेस, नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. India quotient plans for 25% IRR in opportunities fund 1. Now this is completely technical. It is too much technical. Too much technical things are not asked in the RBI, either in RBI or in NABARD. ठीक है. Now you must be wondering that how we'll be able to identify that which is too much technical and which is not. For that you need to go through the past year papers and you need to practice reading the newspaper. After let's say 1 month or 2 months of reading the newspaper continuously, you will be able to identify from the headlines only that if this news is important for me or not. ठीक है. Now, Credit Wise plans to grow AUM six-fold in 3 years. Now, in this particular news, there is nothing relevant for the examination if I talk about data. But you need to understand what is the meaning of AUM, asset under management. Okay? This is the part of the static syllabus. So, through the current part, you can revise the static syllabus as well. All right? आगे चलते हैं. Now this is mark to market. This page completely talks about the share market, so this is not important for us. And for about it majorly talks about the particular company. Corporate में भी again हमारे लिए कुछ बहुत ज्यादा important नहीं है, ठीक है. But yes, Center to Start Digital Services in All Consumer Course, ये पहले वाले पेज का continuation में है, तो you need to read it. Alright, ये वही health insurance में get a new regulator, बहुत डिटेल में यहाँ पे समझाया हुआ है that why there is a need of health insurers, that why there is a need of regulator in the health insurance sector and how it can impact. ठीक है. I hope it is clear. Now, corporate में, this is an important article. India will become auto technology provider to the developing world. Now, why this is important? Because we are talking about a particular sector. We are talking about the auto technology sector, right? And this article is by Maruti Suzuki chairman, right? उनकी कुछ statements है उसमें इन्होंने लिखा है. Now, you can make use, for example, infrastructure is in the syllabus of ESI. So while writing any answer of the infrastructure, let's say tomorrow there is a question, descriptive question from the infrastructure part that, for example, discuss the evolution of India's infrastructure sector. ठीक है, मान लेते हैं इस टाइप का कोई भी क्वेश्चन आता है, तो you can cite the example that okay, today India is the third largest car market in the world and India will become a major exporter of cars and auto components which is already at over $20 billion, right? So यहाँ पे आप example दे सकते हो. You can use this article as an example which will beautify and glorify your answer, right? Now global में भी again अगर कुछ important है तो आपको देखना है, जैसे ये वाला why more Chinese workers are setting for less pay. This is about the employment thing और इसमें बताया हुआ है that जो चाइनीज वर्कर्स हैं वो क्यों लेस पे पे सेटल डाउन हो रहे हैं, राइट? व्हाट आर द रीजंस ऑफ दिस? एंड जो चाइना की गवर्नमेंट है, वी ऑल नो, पीपल्स लिबरेशन आर्मी, पीएलए, वो छुपाती है सारी चीजें. तो इसमें ये भी बताया है कि इवन इफ दे आर हाइडिंग द डेटा इज आउट. जो लोकल रिसर्चर्स होते हैं उनकी मदद से डेटा बाहर आ जाता है. एंड दिस देयर इज अ ट्रेंड विच इज शोइंग दैट अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इन चाइना is increasing and people are settling for less pay as compared to the skills that they have. All right, so this is very important article for us. Why? Because it makes us understand that how the China's economy is working right now. And for example, let's say there is a question on global economy, or let's say comparing, let's say you have to compare India's economy with any other laboring country's economy, you can cite this example. All right, आगे चलते हैं. न्यूज रैप में कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा आपको, क्रिकेट वगैरह की न्यूज मत पढ़ना भाई. इंडिया में लीवरेज LOCs to pitch its DPI stack to developing nations. I hope you remember that we have covered a lot of time India stack in our PIB session. So here this article talks about कि कैसे गवर्नमेंट अपने जो डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स हैं उनको दुनिया तक पहुंचाना चाहती है. नाउ व्हाट आर दोस डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स? लाइक UPI, like CoWIN, which was a portal for COVID vaccination, One Nation One Ration Card, or DigiLocker, Diksha, right? All of these initiatives are the part of India's DPI, and the government of India wants to expand this technology to the developing nations. And इसमें बताया भी हुआ है that countries like Ethiopia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Sri Lanka and Togo have utilized or tested technologies and services from the India stack, right? So this is very important. Again, why this is important? Because it is talking about the globalization, right? First, it is the part of globalization where we are transferring the technology to other developing nations, right? And it is also talking about global collaboration, and obviously it is also talking about the technology. Okay, so it is very, very important for us. Now again, you don't have to mug up the data, right? Actually इसमें कोई data नहीं है. You just have to understand that we have developed certain digital initiatives, and now we are in a position to export those technologies to the developing nations, which is adding to the ये हमारे देश के लिए जो हमारा ग्रोथ है, ओवरऑल ग्रोथ है, उसमें ये ऐड हो रहा है. ऑलराइट, नाउ जी सोनी का ये एक कोलैप्स मर्जर है. इट इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. Union Budget 2024, a wish list of the middle class. You can go through it quickly because it just talks about that क्या क्या wish है हमारे मिडिल क्लास की. बट जब हमारा बजट आ जाएगा तो हम उसी को पढ़ेंगे. एंड 1 तारीख को बजट आएगा. वी विल बी डूइंग इट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली. वी विल बी कवरिंग इट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली. यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट द बजट जब तक कि मैं हूं. राइट. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट टैक्स ऑन इनहेरिटेड प्रॉपर्टी. तो आपको ना अपने सिलेबस को अपने दिमाग में रखना है. ठीक है. सिलेबस में टैक्स है तो मेरे को इस आर्टिकल को जरूर पढ़ना होगा. राइट. एंड इसमें आपको सीखने को मिलेगा लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन एंड शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन, विच इज अगेन अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. एंड इट विल ऑल्सो हेल्प यू इन डेली लाइफ. कल को आप अगर कोई प्रॉपर्टी बेचते हो या खरीदते हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए दैट हाउ वी कैन कैलकुलेट द लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन और द शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल गेन. ठीक है जी. Okay, now this is a very important article. We need to build social capital for a better quality of urban life. Now, this article talks about it is not only the duty of the government to create better quality infrastructure. It is us that we हमें भी इस सब को कवर करना होगा. देखो यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छी बात लिखी है. The lack of sense of common community is the underlying reason why urban governance is in such a bad shape. ये सिर्फ हमारी जिम्मेदारी, ये सिर्फ सरकार की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. ये हम सबकी कलेक्टिव जिम्मेदारी है दैट वी नीड टू इंप्रूव द बेटर क्वालिटी फॉर आवर रिजल्ट्स. ठीक है ना. हम सड़क पे चलते चलते कूड़ा फेंक देते हैं. ये सरकार नहीं हमें बताएगी कि आपको साहब कूड़ा नहीं फेंकना है. हम सड़क पे चलते चलते स्पेशली इन द मेल्स देयर इज अ टेंडेंसी दे पी एनीवेयर. राइट. सो सरकार आपको नहीं बताएगी कि आपको भाई टॉयलेट्स का इस्तेमाल करना है. सो इट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड इट इज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल आर्टिकल. यू मस्ट गो थ्रू इट. Panchayati Raj, it needs funding empowerment. This is about an RBI report on finances of Panchayati Raj institution which has just been released. Don't worry, I will be covering this report. But if you want to understand about the basics of Panchayati Raj, you can go through it, and obviously it is directly related to the syllabus. Okay. All right, yeah. So that's it. That completes this newspaper. This is how you need to go through the newspaper, and you don't have to make notes of everything. For example, if there is an appointment, you can write it down. For example, if there is an कोई award दिया गया है, you can write it down. For example, there is a GDP forecast, you can write it down. So only the important data you need to mug up, right? जैसे for example जो ये सबसे पहला आर्टिकल था एग्रीकल्चर वाला, उसमें जितना सारा डेटा दे रखा है that is not important for us obviously, right? Let me take you to it. Yeah. जैसे for example दे रखा है कि पीएम किसान में कितना कितना मिला, फसल बीमा योजना में कितना कितना लगा. दिस इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. सो नॉट ऑल डेटा आर इंपॉर्टेंट बट सम आर रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है. Alright, so I hope guys you have understood that how you have to read a newspaper and how you can effectively actually read the newspaper. Please remember the do's and don'ts which I told in the beginning of the video, right? And I will see you in some of the next video with some other topic which are of immense importance for you guys and जिसमें आप लोगों की confusion है. If you guys have still any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. I will definitely reply to all those doubts. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, take care, and God bless.